Welcome back to the Mustangs All Access pregame show. We're joined now by Mustangs head coach Ed Hottle. And Coach, you guys got out to a 3-0 start, a setback last week. What did you learn from last week's game at Delaware Valley?
Well, we've got to learn how to finish. Obviously turning the ball over 4 times in the second half is not going to get it done. The most valuable thing I think we can take from that is big game experience and learning how to play in a big game and learning how to finish good teams. Delaware Valley, to their credit, came out. They changed their game plan. They were a little bit different than what we'd seen them do before. They were limited in the passing game in the second half, and we'd spent a significant amount of time, working on some of the Wilmer stuff because he had been such an impact in what they had done in weeks previous and years previous. So they were able to change their stripes a little bit at halftime, and we've got to do a better job of halftime adjustments. And when you have the ball for 8 minutes, you're going to get beat up a little bit defensively. So I think as we look at it, we strayed from our game plan a little bit, which allowed them to take advantage of some things, and obviously the turnovers had a pretty significant impact in the outcome of that football game. So, we've got to learn to finish big games. We've got to learn how to act like we've been there before, and, leading into Saturday, we really hadn't been there before. So now we have that experience, and hopefully as we travel through the rest of the schedule, it'll help us.
Coach, you talked about the turnovers. John was throwing it all over the field in the first half to Wysocki and Miller on crossing routes. Did you see anything on tape from his turnovers in the second half that he could fix for this week?
Well, one of them was actually John's fault. The other 2 were timing routes where the timing was disrupted by a defensive lineman where we'd missed an assignment in the protection, and the other one was a bad route by the receiver. So, on a timing type route, it's one of those things where he's going to throw the ball to a spot on the field, and it's the receiver's job to get there, and it's the line's job to make sure the protection's there. So it's a situation where, it's easy to look at the quarterback and say, well, he threw 3 picks, but there are events that lead to those interceptions. So.
Defensively, you guys start out the first couple of games really strong, getting off the field on third down. A little less successful the last 2 games. How do you coach people to do better on third down?
Well, it's an emphasis. People are obviously seeing what we're doing on third down, so we actually went back and did some self-scout this week as far as what we're doing defensively on third down. And, we had a third down and I think 7 on the final drive of the first half where, a guy gets his feet tangled up in man-to-man coverage. Just little things like that. Is it pressure of a big game? What is the mechanism that causes those things? So, we've done a lot of soul-searching as far as what we're doing on third down, both offensively and defensively. So, hopefully as we move into this week's game, we'll be able to clean some of those things up.
As for today's game, Widener coming in with the new head coach, Bobby Acosta. How does that change your preparation for a team that you've played a couple of times, but now they have a new head coach?
It doesn't change it a ton. It does take a little bit of credibility away from what we saw them do in years past. It's more personnel that we're looking at that point as opposed to schemes. And, all of your reports are now based on 4 games instead of, instead of 6. So it changes things from a schematic perspective a little bit. It doesn't necessarily change it much from a personnel perspective.
What, if anything, are they doing different under Coach Acosta?
They're faster. Their goal is to run a play about every 12 to 15 seconds on offense. He's an offensive guy. Defensively, they're stronger than they were last year. That younger defense last year kind of grew up this year. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. But offensively, they're much, much faster than they were before, which will present us some issues.
And one of their key players on offense is a wide receiver, Anthony Davis. He returns kicks. He's had some success against you guys the last 2 games in 2 years. How do you try to slow him down?
I don't know that you can slow him down. You try to get in his way a little bit. He's a very special player. I think if you look across the MAC and you look across Division III, he's going to be a guy that has a legitimate shot to play on Sunday. Somebody will sign him to a free agent contract at minimum as we come out of the spring, around draft time. So he's a legit big-time, big-play threat constantly. We've got some things for him. We've got some tendencies and things that we're going to look for. So, hopefully, our guys match up pretty well with him.
Well, you still have that 3-game winning streak at home going on coming into this one. What are the keys to making it 4 this afternoon?
I want it to be loud here. I need these guys behind us and then getting loud. And, I think it's going to be whoever's most efficient with the football. I think the heat's going to play a little bit of role in it. It's going to be close to probably 92, 93, 95 degrees, on the field throughout the game. So, it may come down to a game of depth. And who can survive in the second half, so to speak. So, we've talked a lot with our guys this week about getting getting hydrated. You know, we started Wednesday hammering them about the hydration, getting the Powerade on board, getting the water on board. You know, we actually walked through Friday morning as opposed to Friday afternoon, you know, to keep them from sweating, to keep as much of that fluid in as possible. So, you know, that's one of the things we've really targeted this year, is taking a little bit better care of our guys from that perspective. The second half of practice yesterday, we took the shoulder pads off. So we've done some things to help, you know, help beat the heat a little bit. So hopefully in the second half that's going to pay dividends for us.
All right, well, hopefully so, Coach. We'll see you after the game. Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, that was head coach Ed Hottle on Inside the Huddle. This is the Mustangs All Access pregame show powered by sfmsports.net.